My fellow citizens and watchers of the truth. Today, America is deeply intoxicated by a grand slogan, "Make America Great Again." The masses look at these words and blindly believe that the prosperity of the past, an era of abundant jobs and stable prices, is finally returning. But behind this glittering curtain, we must look directly at the massive institutional gears turning right before our eyes, completely ignoring the plight of the common people. Is the true destination of this greatness for the well-being of the citizens, or is it for the blueprint of a perfect empire of control? The harsh reality is that many Americans remain blissfully unaware of the tragedies unfolding across the globe. Unless you are an expert, it is easy to become naive, distracted, and consumed only by what is right in front of you. Yet within that very ignorance, the terrifying crises happening just across the ocean in nations like China are being perfectly mirrored on American soil. Right now, the youth of China are trapped in a state of absolute despair. Even with advanced degrees, there are no jobs. A brutal, unspoken age barrier leaves those over their mid-30s unable to even submit a resume. Desperate and hopeless, millions of young people have shut themselves away, becoming ghosts in their own rooms. Do you truly believe this is just a faraway story? Look closer. The very heart of capitalism, America, is walking down the exact same path. Our educated youth are entering society with tens of thousands of dollars in student loans, medical debts, and credit card bills. They have become financial slaves with negative net worth. If we stay on this trajectory, American youth will also lock themselves away in their rooms, abandoning their future. Yet, our highest leaders do not care about the survival of the regular citizen. Instead, they exacerbate tensions in the Middle East, steering the global economy toward paralysis and contributing to the systematic collapse of our currency and financial systems. They are weaponizing the anxiety of foreign conflicts simply to hide their domestic failures. Simultaneously, behind the scenes, a massive network of technological control is being established under the guise of national security and global dominance. The aggressive rollout of next-generation 6G hyperspeed networks and the integration of AI-driven surveillance infrastructure are moving forward unchecked. The political elite brings billionaires, tech giants, and massive global capital corporations to the front lines. They frame it as innovation, but the true nature of this technology is deeply chilling. Think about it. A 6G network is not just about faster internet. It serves as the foundation for a seamless web capable of tracking, data mining, and monitoring every human, asset, and movement in real time. When combined with AI facial recognition and digital asset systems, the cruel social credit systems used by authoritarian regimes will be seamlessly upgraded and implanted into our own territory. While the establishment publicly criticizes overseas regimes, behind closed doors, they admire the efficiency of their control models. They casually joke about being good friends with foreign dictators, and it is no joke. They're actively benchmarking those exact systems to legally strip away our privacy. The global scenario that will unfold as this system nears completion is even more alarming. If a massive conflict leads to global supply chain paralysis and currency collapse, the public will cry out for salvation. And what card will the establishment play as the self-proclaimed savior? A new, fully centralized digital currency, and absolute biological and digital tracking under the pretext of safety. This is the high-speed highway leading directly to a society of total economic and physical compliance. In the midst of this dark timeline, the administration silently signs executive orders, deregulating communication systems and handing the reins of public surveillance over to big tech. In this entire process, there is not a single policy meant to protect the livelihood or the wallet of the average citizen. Housing prices continue to skyrocket, and grocery bills are suffocating families. Yet politics remains completely obsessed with perfecting surveillance and funding foreign wars. My fellow Americans, it is time to wake up. We can no longer afford to be naive and ignore the tragedies of other nations. We must realize that the sweet promise of greatness is merely a modern digital Tower of Babel designed to bind us like the slaves of ancient empires. Do not be deceived by the political theater. We must watch the watchers. The establishment constantly screams about driving out threats to secure our borders. Why the sudden panic? Because the true objective is internal compliance. By maximizing the authority of federal law enforcement under the guise of security, they are weaving a dense net of AI surveillance and communication intercepts across the country. Once perfected, that very weapon will be turned inward against domestic youth and regular citizens to enforce total obedience. This is why leaders focus on digital token trading and lining the pockets of asset managers, instead of bringing housing prices down. They have zero regard for the working class. By building a structure where citizens spend their entire lives paying off debts just to survive, they are locking us into a modern system of feudal servitude. The elites rule like gods at the top of a digital pyramid, while the people are expected to work silently just to afford food. This is the common denominator among global rulers everywhere. Yet, institutional organizations and communities that are supposed to stand up as pillars of truth and expose this injustice remain silent. They try to maintain the favor of the political elite instead of resisting overreach. During recent global crises, we saw how easily compliance was tested and enforced, and the establishment concluded that communities would offer no meaningful resistance. True leaders who fight for the people do not exist in this current political framework. They have merely become puppets of a larger machine. When global leaders act in such eerie, uniform synchronization across different continents, we must realize what era we are entering. The deception is real. They speak the language of hope, but they execute policies of control. We must stand up and reclaim our rights. Politicians are public servants, not our masters. We must firmly demand an end to corporate monopolies buying up residential housing and halting artificial price hikes. We must demand an end to the predatory financial structures that trap our students in debt. And we must demand that our hard-earned tax dollars stop funding foreign conflicts and start stabilizing our tables at home. The average citizen does not ask for complex, grand ideologies. Even those who do not understand the hidden agendas simply want to work honestly, afford a roof over their family, and buy affordable, quality food. That is the fundamental purpose of a society. Do not fall for the manufactured division and identity politics designed to make you hate your neighbor. Refuse their false binaries and focus entirely on holding the system accountable. Our lives and our freedom are being tested. Stay vigilant, prepare, and spread this truth to shake the nation. Thank you for watching. Please share and subscribe to amplify this warning.